All right, we just got a brand new 2023 M2 Comp. Neat little car, really fun. I've been driving it around for about a month. Got about 1,000 miles on it. It's all broke in. Really fun car to drive. Smaller, lighter than all the other cars. I did get the automatic with the paddle shifter because it handles a lot more torque, and we're going to put the software and heat exchanger we have in the M3, M4, which is going to make this car make 750 horsepower. It comes with 440 from BMW, so it's gained to 300. Should be pretty noticeable. One of the things I noticed about the car is it has a fair amount of understeer, and I think they did it because it's two-wheel drive and it's going to have a lot of power, and I think they're worried about the car getting sideways and people spinning out and crashing it. So we're going to attempt to do something about that by adding overall traction to the car and stability and trying to gate some of the understeer in the car. Well, it's going to be like the new M3, new M4. It's going to be software, heat exchangers, intercoolers, engines, turbochargers, intake plumbing, suspension, wheels, tires, and some cosmetic pieces as well, and also an intake out of carbon fiber and an exhaust system out of stainless and titanium. It's basically the S58 motor, same what's in the M3, M4. We're making a composite engine brace for the car and a composite engine cover as well, and an intake, heat exchanger, intercooler, intake manifold, and software. I got a performance on my drift analyzer here, but it doesn't give me a score. Where's my?
You didn't get a score?
Oh, I got 5 stars.
5-star drift. Nice.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's always nice to get him going both directions if you can. You know,
Yeah.
when you're doing donuts, that's harder.
Steve, are you a fan of drifting or not really?
I'm not a big fan of drifting. I spent my whole life trying to figure out how to get a car to hook up so it wouldn't go sideways. You know? So I never saw the point of slowing a car down just for show, but I'm a hardcore racer, so you know.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you like about this interior?
Well, I didn't think I would like this big screen, but it's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love the steering wheel on the new car with the carbon fiber inlay and everything, and the paddle shifters are carbon now and bigger as well.
How are the shift lights compared to the Audi? You said those were your favorite.
The shift lights in this car are good, but the Audi shift lights are still better, I hate to say. The problem I have with people buying engine stuff is a lot of people buy performance for their engine and don't buy chassis and wheels and tires.
Yeah, makes sense.
And sometimes they just buy springs to lower the car, and sometimes they bottom out the suspension, lowering it too much, and actually make the car handle worse. Like we had a customer in our shop the other day with a 850 horsepower previous M2 Comp.
Okay.
In any event, he bought a suspension and coilover kit from someone else, and it was so low it was bottomed out, and all it would do was go sideways and skip across the road. And so we actually raised the car up and reset the shock clickers and gave the bump stops a little bit of travel. And he came back, he goes, "What'd you do to my car?" Because we couldn't even drive the car to test drive when we were working on it. He goes, "It handles so much better, it has so much more traction." I said, "Yeah, well, you know, you got to have suspension travel. The suspension has to move, you know."
Yeah.
So my biggest problem is people lower the cars too much, and then they also add power without adding chassis, and then the car is dangerous. But it doesn't need to be.
Okay, 3.5.
I don't know. No, it still says 5. Maybe that's not what that means. I don't know. I haven't used
those
it.
are empty stars though.
Oh, I don't have a score in either one then.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing. Like one of my favorite stories about BMW was I went there the first time when I went to visit. I met Hans Dunzel, was in charge of the technical department. He had an assistant called Winfried Schimp, a young engineer, and I brought an M6 along. God, this was 80s, late 80s. And he goes, "Well, let's go back to the workshop, put the car up in the air and look at your work." So he leaves the front of BMW's corporate office and he does a donut in the parking lot. He's wearing a full suit with a tie and everything. Sideways to the parking lot, there's a ramp that goes up to the shop. He goes up the ramp, almost gets air, and there's a handbrake turn, the shop and gets out. "Yes, we will look at the car now." And the guy was so stiff and so proper when I first talked to him. I go, "There's no way this guy's ever going to be fun." And he drives the car like a teenage kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, he's
All right, Steve, so are you excited for what's to come with CarBahn and the M2? When are we going to release the first product, do you think?
Well, I think by end of August, we're going to have the software and heat exchanger we used to develop for the M3, M4 available for this car.
Okay.
So in about 2 months, we're going to have 750 horsepower M2.
Nice. That is exciting.
Yeah, the suspension stuff's going to take a little longer. It's probably going to take till next spring because it takes a long time to develop that correctly.
Makes sense.
But everything we have available for the M3, M4 engine is going to be available for this car in 2 or 3 months. It's
Very
going to be
nice.
neat.